hotline from the Gaston Gazette. Monte Dutton joins us. Hi, Monte. How are you?
Fine. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Heck of a week here up in Michigan. And one of the interesting things that Charlie and I were kind of talking about in our Fast Lap, a couple of different things, but one that Greg Biffle, we had a clip from him as he was talking about the Brad Keselowski. We called it kind of outing, supposedly, Hendrick and these other guys for changing the way the rear suspension is. What do you make of that whole big deal as far as Keselowski not having it, Hendrick having it? It sounds like Roush has it. Where are we going with this thing?
My personal view is that Keselowski, I already had this view, is really sharp. Because as a practical matter, the way he handled that, I would expect either one of two things. I mean, his point was that what they're doing with the rear ends, and then this became another issue as far as the Roush teams too, is kind of something that what Brad was saying was that it was, I don't think he was saying that it was illegal, but in NASCAR they always say unapproved or unapproved. I think he was sort of saying that we're worried that somebody's going to make an example out of a team and they're going to penalize them. And so based on the way that he handled it, I would say that one of two things is going to happen. Either Brad is going to do the same thing to his car and not worry about NASCAR being upset about it, or NASCAR is going to prevent the teams from doing what they're doing, and they won't have the advantage that Brad perceives. So from a political point of view, it seems like to me it's a no-lose situation. It seems like to me that I consider Keselowski to be a really canny guy. I think it's amazing a guy his age knows so well how to handle media relations, how to handle the public, how to handle just about everything. I think he's got the whole package. And so from my point of view, if he's concerned, I mean, this has been going on for weeks. People have been saying that when they drove up behind another car, they could see some play in the rear end of the car that wasn't some different from others, and that it generally was the ones who all of a sudden really fast. And subsequently, after he was talking about the Hendrick cars, later on Jack Roush was asked about it, and they revealed that they'd done a great deal of R&D, and they felt like they were up to snuff in that area themselves. So what basically Brad was saying was that, going into the chase, we're worried about doing anything out there because we don't want to get punished by NASCAR. And so it sounds like to me that based on his making an issue out of it, either they're going to be able to feel like, fine, it's cool, we can do that, or NASCAR is going to prevent people from doing it, and that either way, it's going to improve how competitive Penske is.
We're talking to Monte Dutton, NASCAR beat writer for the Gaston Gazette. And Monte, you should take a little credit. You were the guy who asked Jack Roush about that, I believe, in that post.
Yes, I did. And as a matter of fact, I was thinking to myself about the fact that I was thinking that I wanted to sort of test that, because I thought that if this had been, if this was 10 years ago or 5 years ago, there was a time when Jack practically went to war with Hendrick and Ray Evernham over all of his allegations that Jeff Gordon was doing some deep, dark, illegal things back in the 90s, and Jack has a tendency to kind of overreact. So I was just wondering whether he'd freeze up and say, we're very happy with the way NASCAR is running the sport. But that's not Jack's nature, so I thought he gave me something to chew on.
Yeah, he did. I thought it was a really good answer, and then Biffle picked up on it and kind of also expounded on it. It was a great exchange between those three guys, and I agree with you on Keselowski. I'm amazed for a guy as young as he is. He's almost become the go-to guy for insightful quotes from the Sprint Cup drivers, don't you think?
Well, at the end of 2010, I remember writing. At that time, there was a lively rivalry in the Nationwide Series between Brad and Carl Edwards, and I thought it was like the best thing going. And I was thinking that the only thing that's preventing Keselowski from being one of the big stars is raising his level of competition at the Cup level, which he did in 2011. And so he's won 6 races now in the last 2 years. And I've always thought I've never experienced a race car driver who was so well prepared for stardom. Mm-hmm. He is articulate. He's a really good driver. He's really talented. He likes the media. He knows how to work the media. There's a method to his madness. I just think I'm sort of in awe of the fact that that most guys who come to racing, they reach the top level, and there's a part of them that says, "Hey, I just want to drive race cars. I didn't sign up for all this stuff." I think Keselowski enjoys all that stuff, and so, and I mean, I've been impressed with him all along, and continue to be so. I think a championship's in his future.
Yeah, I agree with you there. What part of our Fast Lap deal today, Steve, when that question came up about Brad's comments about the so-called advantage that some cars have over others, Steve said, and I don't know if he was being serious or just trying to bait me into an argument, that he thought Brad was whining. I didn't get it as whining. I got it as calculated, like you.
Well, let me tell you what I've learned about the term whining.
Yeah.
Over the course of my career, most fans either like somebody or they don't.
Yeah.
And if it's the guy they like, he's telling it like it is.
Yeah.
And if it's the guy they don't like, he's a whiner.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think in almost every instance, that usually comes down. That's kind of like, there's a positive and a negative term for everything. If you're if you're a team player, this is the positive term, or you kiss up with the boss if it's a negative term.
Yeah, the other thing about the the same exchange is you can get so much out of those comments at this post race presser this week. Keselowski talking about how Roger doesn't want to be the one who gets caught out and gets his his fingers caught in the cookie jar, and doesn't want to be the one that if somebody's going to get fined, doesn't want to be Roger. I've been a Roger Penske fan for, I think, about 50 years. I think I became aware of him when he was racing sports cars himself, and when I was reading, books that my dad had, and Roger's best driver ever was Mark Donohue, who wrote a book called The Unfair Advantage. I don't think Roger would skip the chance to get an advantage if he thought it was there. So maybe they got caught out a little bit on this. You think?
Well, I got a little bit. I sort of got a little bit tickled at that when Keselowski, because I was thinking that you're saying that Roger's not in any way are we going to do something that wouldn't be acceptable. Because I was thinking, well, if you're in the IndyCar community, you might not have that same view there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But as I said about Brad, I think that he really what he said afterwards, it was not spontaneous. It was extemporaneous. For a kid to just get out of a race car after a tough loss and be able to go in there, I thought that he had all the skill of a candidate for office. It was like, you hear people say that you want to keep the candidate own message, or he wants to hit all the talking points. I thought he hit all the talking points, and but see, that's not the same thing in my mind as being just completely, rehearsed. To me, you sit there and you go in there, and the fact that he could make his argument so cogently, I think that's one of the things that's very impressive about Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, he doesn't sound particularly prepared, prepared by a PR person. He's very thoughtful. Another example.
I think he is his PR person.
Yeah, he probably is.
I think that they need him to get him to one place and talk to him about that. But I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I think Brad's PR is a whole lot better than the PR representative of, say, I don't know, A.J. Allmendinger.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Monty, we got to go to a break. Can you hang on? We'd like to take you over to the next segment if you're willing.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more Monty Dutton. This is On Pit Row.
The fastest show on Ustream TV.